Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As I was about to title today's video, I'm showcasing the top 3 point guard builds in NBA 2K23. In today's video, we have 3 different ones listed, yet only 2 different heights, 6'1" and 6'9", and then obviously a third variation of a 6'1" as well. One with way more defense, one is much more of an offensive scoring threat, and then the 6'9", obviously very balanced, very do-it-all type build. And I think a lot of people will lean more toward this one probably, to be honest with you, but that's just the nature of this game. 6'9" point guards are really good because of the badge tiering system, whereas 6'1" point guards are really good because of the speed, the glitchy side-to-side movement ability, not to mention the animations you unlock, and the fact that they have more attribute caps than say a 6'2", 6'3", or anything below a 6'1" as well. 6'1" is literally just a glitched attribute cap as far as the height goes, and it's really broken. And we'll get into the whole 6'1" versus 6'3" debate later in this video. I did that already for the video yesterday though, so if you do want to see that, either stay tuned or just check out yesterday's vid. Pretty much like I said, the 6'1" just have broken attribute caps that just have more than any other height surrounding them between the shorter or taller. But nonetheless, to get into this video, I hope y'all enjoy, and if you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all that good stuff. Let's try this one to 2,000 likes. First of all, we have the 6'1" offensive scoring threat. As you can see, 163 on the weight, 6'7" wingspan. This is generally what you're going to have for pretty much every build that has around 92 to 93 three-pointer. You may as well have the longest wingspan possible while still having around that gold limitless and gold agent 3, and as you can see, blinders as well. When you get that 89 three-pointer, you get the agent 3 and blinders. When you get the 92 three-pointer, you not only get 24 shooting badges, but also the limitless range on gold. Now, the reason that you want 24 shooting badges is going to be, you're going to be able to core 1 and then run 2 more on top of that too. Because what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to run 10 points between tier 1 and tier 2 combined before you can even unlock the tier 3. So for instance, you have to run, let's say, gold green machine and gold amped or something like that. That gives you 10 points right there. Then boom, you're able to start running the tier 3 points. Now, when you combine 7 plus 7, that equals 14 obviously, and then you can core badge 1 for free. So 24 is your golden number when it comes to shooting. For finishing, we have 20 right here. Now, this goes a long way. I will say, when it comes to where you want to put your extra badge points, I would advise on this build to actually put into it maybe at least 2. Now, this is where the core badge aspect of it gets a little bit complicated, because limitless takeoff is by far the hardest finishing badge of them all right here to core badge, but problem is it's the most expensive one. So if you're able to core badge limitless, that would mean you would only have to add 2 more extra finishing, and it would mean that you could then run posterizer and slithery. Problem is, like I said, limitless is very hard to core. So if you want to be realistic with it, you should probably add 3 finishing badges to this and plan to core badge poster, to be real with you. That's probably the way I would go about things, to be completely honest with you. But nonetheless, you can see other than that, you're going to be running Fearless Finisher, Acrobat, and then probably some Giant Slayer. Simple as that. That's pretty much all your finishing badges right there. So to move along, the other thing that's pretty coveted about the 6'1" and just this build in general is going to be 95 ball handle. So with 95 ball handle, you have the ability to have Hall of Fame unpluckable. As you can see, you also get Hall of Fame quick first step at 89, so that goes a long way too. But it's already kind of a given to have something like that on a 6'1". I would never advise to have anything less than 89 ball handle on a build that can actually get it. If you're a 6'9" though, obviously you can't get that in like more around 87 or 85ish. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, 23 playmaking is very good. I will say, because you don't really have a lot of tier 3 playmakings that are super convenient to run. Like for instance, the only thing you're really going to need is handles for days and clamp breaker that are in the tier 3s. Not many people run killer combos or mismatch expert. I'm gonna be real with you. I wish it was better. I wish like 6'1" had more reason to run stuff like this, because you're extremely small, so you would think that it's really good. But you generally do not see people run any of these 2 badges. If you really want to be giving yourself the ability to do stuff like that though, I would add at least 1 playmaking. At that point, once again, you have that 24 count, so you can core badge like 1 gold and then run 2 more golds as well in the tier 3. But I'm gonna be real with you. You definitely want to have Hall of Fame unpluckable and Hall of Fame quick first step, which can cost you well over 10 points. So let's just go into this assuming you're probably just gonna run clamp breaker and handles for days, and then run unpluckable and quick first step from there, and then whatever you would like between bronze bailout or maybe some hyperdrive. I've talked with my guards as well between AK and Zeke and all them and stuff like that too. They don't think hyperdrive is really convenient for like a small guard or anything like that that doesn't just constantly rim run. Like obviously me as a slasher kind of likes to have hyperdrive, but those 2 don't really care for it. So just you can take their feedback of the people that I play with and stuff like that too, who fit this build style a whole lot more. But anyway, for defense, obviously you're not expected to be a menace on defense with this. 85 steel gives you the silver interceptor at 78 and then the silver glove at 85. So this protects you on ball and off ball plenty enough to still just be a problem when people target you, but it's not going to be anything that you want to be on ball intentionally. So when it comes to you playing rec and stuff like that, obviously this is not the type of build you would be looking at if you're going to load up at the 1, because it will be problematic off the fact that you're going to have to guard the other team's point guard too. Now, because your pass accuracy is lower at 75, which by the way is very solid, I've seen it in action with AK and Zeke as well on their builds that have 75. You can make all the passes you need on the court. I'm gonna be real with you, the only thing you need more than 75 pass accuracy for is full court passes or ones behind half court essentially. 75, you can make all the rotation passes, you can make all the reads, it's plenty fine, you can hit the slips really good. I think really it's all you need for half-court passing. Also, by the way, for those who are maybe new to the game as well, when it comes to you having the ball in your hand, speed and speed with ball do not matter quite as much. Acceleration is what you're looking at. This is going to be your stop-to-start movements where you're going to be like really accelerating at the speed of light, and this is what you really need as a point guard essentially is what I'm getting at. When it comes to your speed, it's only off-ball movement. So for instance, if you're off-ball on offense and you're just kind of like dexing around is the term, or on defense if you're defending ball. I will say, it's not great as far as on-ball defense. We will have a build later in this video that displays way better on-ball defensive ability with the Prim D. And Prim D is your speed when you're holding LT. Just keep that in mind. There's a lot of different mechanics in this for people that are new to the channel or new to the game and don't really understand stuff like this. But speed on defense is literally just sprinting. Perimeter defense is when you're holding LT, the speed that you're moving when you're sliding and stuff like that. And then obviously speed of the ball is going to be more, I would say, in the open court area where if you're sprinting and like, let's say you're breaking the press or something like that, that's where speed with ball is a little bit more notable and important for. But a lot of the top point guards in the game do not run speed with ball very high, to be honest with you. It's just way too expensive toward your build. So that's where a lot of people cut out on, and it's plenty fine still. They don't look that bad in press break by any means. And if you're playing just straight 3v3 or 2v2 or something like that, you don't really need speed with ball at all past 75, which gives you the Michael Jordan dribble styles and stuff like that. Only reason it's this high is because as you can see, if we take it down, it forces the ball handle down with it. And with this build, you probably want the Hall of Fame unpluckable. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, again, acceleration 94, really elite. We need that 75 vertical for the pro contact dunks as well. And this build still gets it too. I mean, they really could go hard. I'm gonna be real with you. I've seen what the dunk meter looks like with no finishing badges at all and just 86 driving dunk on my 6'1" that I created. I don't have the finishing badges grinded yet, and I really just don't have the motive to grind that build just quite yet. It's just kind of on the back burner for me. But nonetheless, I have seen what the dunk meter looks like with this build. It is actually devious. You can still trigger a lot of contact dunks with it, and in general, you still have pro contacts that you can maybe get with a rare X button, and then obviously just front clutches and quick drops. Simple as that, as the other dunks to run. Anyway, as far as the takeover options, I want to talk about this one right here. So I would advise to run the limitless takeover paired with the team takeover booster. What I am a big fan of this duo for is that obviously you're a very big scoring threat when you have limitless takeover, and then on top of that too, if you save for your double, at that point, it becomes a problem for people to even be able to double team you. We're talking like Pro-Am where they send doubles at you and then boom, you have to make a read elsewhere. At that point, it's going to be really problematic for them to do that, because if you have the team takeover boost activated as your secondary, you're going to be giving your teammates ridiculous amounts of takeover. Not to mention, in your secondary should probably be something that helps you get your takeover quickly. As a 6'1", just in general, people are going to spend a lot of defensive attention on you and really like force you to do other things than just score the ball with it. So to run your playmaking secondary allows you to get faster takeover if you are at the expense of maybe having to be a little bit submissive when you have the ball in your hands and just have to have your teammates help you a little bit more than you doing all the scoring. And again, then when you get takeover, it becomes even more problematic. But then they can't even like afford to double you or anything like that, because if you pass the ball to your big on the slip, or you pass the ball to a corner in the like a corner spot up that has lockdown takeover, that's gonna go hard for your teammates, man. I'm telling you, this team takeover booster is crazy. If you do want to run a different play take though, Team Badge Boost is pretty solid. Just keep in mind that Team Takeover Boost, you do not even have to have the ball in your hands for them to get the Takeover Boost. Whereas Badge Boost, you have to actually directly pass to them, and it's kind of like Dimer. It wears out after a little bit of time. So you have to actually pass them the ball, then that'll be when their badges like get boosted as far as like the corner specialist, catch and shoot, amped, green machine, whatever the case may be. Anyway, on to build number 2 right here. We have the 6'9", kind of do it all. So I have a lot of these on my Pro-Am team as well, between Zeke and Apollo. They both have this exact same build right here. I think this is honestly the best build in the game, bar none. Like, I think this truly just is unmatched as far as its versatility and how it can literally do everything. So let's get into this and explain why it's so good. 6'9", 194 on the weight. For the defensive rebound, it gets to 82. That's for gold box out beast. That goes hard, man. You can literally like play as a 2 or a 3 in the park for that matter on this build, in my opinion. I truly do believe that. You don't see a lot of tall bigs out there. You will deal with them sometimes, but at that point, they have to guard you too. Keep that in mind. So if you're loading up at the 3 with this and you want to play a little bit of small ball, it's going to be tough for that guy to keep up if he's truly a big that is going to dominate you with this build. Because I've played with this on my Ben Simmons build that had 76 interior D and 81 block and 81 D board. It was plenty doable, to be honest with you, albeit my offensive rebound rating was a lot higher, so my rebound badges get a lot better than this one. But nonetheless, 86 prim, as you can see, gives a lot of defensive badges, not to mention the 6'9" allows for you to run challenger, clamps, all types of stuff like that, interceptor in tier 2 and 1. You're not going to run a single tier 3 badge on defense with this build, so you'll probably just like core something like challenger on 5 badge points, or maybe even interceptor because it's easier and cheaper. So you don't have a whole lot of necessary like needs for defensive badge coring, but nonetheless, it still goes hard with the versatility that you can have on it. Once again, box out beast. You got things like challenger, clamps, interceptor, and chase down. And actually, if you do want to run one of the tier 3s, I would advise it to be anchor. You could definitely core that, and you get the core badge progress on it super easy too. Bronze anchor does go hard for that matter as well, but anyway, nonetheless, to get into the offensive stuff, the one hit that we are going to be taking on this, unfortunately, is to not get 87 ball handle. That does sacrifice your clamp breaker on gold. Keep that in mind. You will be core badging, probably unpluckable though, with 7 badge points right here, or the easy quick fix is going to be to like do quick first step, or maybe even hails for days as well. It's up to you 100%, but nonetheless, there are going to be some things that you want to put on your build as far as badge points for this. So fortunately, if you do core badge unpluckable, what you're going to see is you then have still 22 playmaking badges to work with. Now 12 of them have to go into silver clamp breaker and silver handles for days. Just keep that in mind, and obviously that means you have to spend 10 points between tier 1 and tier 2. Fortunately though, as you can see, hyperdrive is tier 1, so you can apply that, and then quick first step is also a tier 2, so that's 8 badge points right there between the two of them. Now I would advise to at least put 1 extra playmaking on so that you can run bronze bailout. That is definitely a really good badge to run, or maybe you could even afford to just run silver hyperdrive and keep it as simple as that. But after that, like I said, it's going to be clamp breaker and handles for days as your 2 tier 3s that you equip, and then you core badge unpluckable. Easy. Now, this build is very hard to budget everything, so we couldn't get that 78 mid-range for the like 24 shooting badges. I would definitely advise just put at least 1 shooting badge on this build. Again, for the same reason of what we just showed, 24 shooting badges goes a long way. Allows you to core 1 of them and then apply 2 more as well. Or if you double core, then boom, you still have the potential to get all 4 tier 3s. So just keep that in mind. Now you may be looking at this and you're like, 8 finishing badges. Well, why'd you have 18 on the point guard? The point guard had things like Slithery, Limitless Takeoff, all in tier 3, and then still Posterizer as well. With this build right here, we are very content with not running Posterizer. Again, it's a really good 3 hunting build while still being able to rely on the rim runs, stuff like that too. You can still get dunks, mind you, with 84. You still get pro contacts. I have seen it. I've seen my boy Zeke activate the dunk meter consistently. And I'll be honest with you, I really want to make this build myself, me being someone that uses the dunk meter habitually. I honestly think 84 dunk gets the job done really well, even with no Posterizer. It's just generally a situation where the dunk meter is the dunk meter, but at the same time, you're probably someone that's a little bit more, I would say, X button oriented. But nonetheless, if you're not going to go for the Posterizer or anything like that, 85 dunk doesn't really matter. If you want to go to 86 just to get Limitless Takeoff on gold, fair enough. You can go ahead and make your edits and tweaks wherever you would like, because obviously you can still afford it. Once again, it's a tier 1 or tier 2. So it's plenty doable. But 84 dunk like gives you the pro contacts, it gives you the quick drops, all types of stuff like that you would need, and it's plenty fine if you ask me. And this is why the build is so good for that matter, is because you can budget so much on your finishing and barely have to put anything in. Literally just 84 dunk and everything that gets forced up with it, and then boom, there you go. You have pro contacts, quick drops, you get Limitless Takeoff right where you need it, Slithery as well. It goes hard, man, and it's what allows you to have such defensive versatility as well. Like the 76 interiors, 86 prim, 78 steal for the silver interceptor, 81 block for the badge point and just in general to be able to protect yourself in the paint, 82 defensive rebound for the gold box out beast, and then our speed and acceleration are both plenty fine. 75 vert as well for the pro contacts, and then max stamina as well. Now I have seen a lot of people ask, why don't I put like just stamina down to 95? If you would like to do that, go ahead. I'm of the belief that Gym Rat doesn't work like that on next gen. I am maybe someone who's been on next gen for like 3 more years, or maybe 2 more than a lot of the people who are watching this video, and I gotta say, like on next gen, Gym Rat has never worked like that. It's never been +4s or anything like that. It is literally just it's almost like a ghost boost, so to say. I just believe that it boosts your percentages and stuff like that off your ratings, and it's already been noted. Mike Wang has already alluded to that stuff as well. What the tweet was specifically, for those who keep nagging me about it, is that he said they are the same as they have been for the last 2 years as well on each console. Now a lot of people took that as, oh yes, Gym Rat is back and it works, but that's the point. It works the exact same way it's worked on next gen, and I am here on next gen for the 3rd year in a row, and it works the exact same way. So there's no such thing as a +4s, all right? I want to set that straight because I've seen so many comments talking about it, but nonetheless, anyway, you can go ahead and do as you would like with the stamina. If you really choose to move it down to 95 on every one of your builds, keep on doing that. That's plenty fine. I like to have them pretty high unless I have to budget in certain areas where I need like one more point, and stamina is very cheap too for that matter. But anyway, once again, I'm suggesting probably the same exact takeover, like as far as limitless and team takeover boost. It's a really cool loadout. I really do think this is fire. Now, if you want to change it because you're maybe not going to be a true always with the ball in your hand situation, you definitely can. Lock take also boosts acceleration, which we will talk about in the next build as well, because it's actually very relevant to it. So let's just get into that, and we can give you a little bit more clarity on the whole takeover situation as well. All right, so as you can see, this one is a 6'1", 174 on the weight, 6'7" wingspan. Now, the reason I'm going up a little bit more on the weight is for the potential to get the defense. Now, you could go ahead and change that and tweak that. At the end of the day, I did not max my acceleration anyway to the height, so the weight doesn't truly matter that much, and it's just empty calories, empty stats between the acceleration and the primity. But if you do go with this weight, you can get your prim to 92, which gives you the gold clamps and gold challenger as well, which does go hard. With this one, you can see we still have gold challenger, but silver clamps. The point of me putting this on was to maybe just make it a little bit more offensive, because this is a point guard build video at the end of the day. Right after I'm done with this though, I will show you the one that has 92 prim. It's literally the build that I showed yesterday in the video, but oh well, it's fine. We can definitely just show it again. Anyway, with this, we have 16 finishing badges again for the limitless takeoff. At this point, I'm probably planning for this build to be able to not really core any finishing, and you could just put extra shooting into it. And I don't really think like running things like slithery or poster after coring limitless takeoff, because that's already hard in the first place. And most people who have builds like this, they don't even core badge any finishing because it's too hard. You could throw a posterizer on, and that's extremely easy to core badge, but at the end of the day, it's like 5 badge points, and then you would get limitless takeoff back in. Either way, you guys get what I'm saying. I would not plan to like core badge a finishing with this if you have the ability to do so and you hit level 40. If you do plan to just keep the default core badge loadout where you get the finishing, shooting, playmaking, and defense, like I said, you can just run poster as the core on finishing, then just still run silver limitless takeoff. Boom, there you go. And then it's already really good. I mean, the fearless finisher, acrobat after that still goes a long way. You also want the giant slayer on gold. And again, keep in mind that 80 driving layup aspect if you do want to be more of a fancy finisher. But nonetheless, it's kind of the same principles as the last build we just literally showed, but less ball handle. It only has 90. Going to 89 gives the Hall of Fame quick first step. 90 gives you the extra like badge point right there as well. It's up to you though. I would honestly say if you're trying to budget everything, you could just go down in the ball handle, because it's very expensive for that matter too. But what's also expensive is a 99 steal. But to be 6'1" in this game, you need to protect yourself in a way. And the way that truly protect yourself is to be able to steal the ball, whether it's interceptions or on-ball plucks when people are trying to target you, whether it's off-ball or on-ball. And it goes super hard. 86 prim is probably the baseline I would shoot for. As you can see, once again, gives you that gold challenger, silver clamps. You get the ankle braces and workhorse a higher level as far as the maxes go. I'm not sure I would recommend to run those at both at the Hall of Fame level or anything like that, but either way, 86 still goes hard. And then with that, we have 91 acceleration, 80 speed once again, and the 91 excel can move plenty good. I just gotta say first and foremost too though, that obviously if you want to be more of an elite offensive scoring point guard, you're gonna need to be dropping things like steal a little bit, and it'll give you obviously the acceleration that you can invest into it, just like the build that I showed in the very early portions of this video. Same with the super high ball handle and stuff like that the other one had with the Hall of Fame unpluckable. But this build is sacrificing a little bit of offense into defense, and I gotta say that 99 steal is a pain. People will not target you like that. If you're just constantly intercepting the passes and constantly plucking people on ball too, and then you still have the offensive capabilities of 6'1" that is Hall of Fame quick first step and really good acceleration, and then the great dribble moves that come with it and the shots that come with it too, whether it's the Curry jump shot or the Trae Young dribble pull up. Stuff goes hard, man. It really does, and I'm not gassing that up like just unintentionally. It really is annoying to deal with. Now, let's talk about what makes this build special as well with that acceleration around like 91. So, as you can see, with it at 91, let's just say figuratively, if there was something in the world that could boost it by 8, that would mean you'd have 99. Well, there is. Perimeter badge drop or any other lockdown takeover is going to be boosting your acceleration by 8 points. When you are on takeover, if you run a build like this, you will literally have 99 acceleration anyway, while still being a defensive menace, still defending like crazy and stealing the ball like crazy, with the prim badge drop dropping their stuff to probably like silver unpluckable on most builds, or maybe in a rare situation it'll be dropping from Hall of Fame to gold. But nonetheless, I think running lock take on a build like this would be so devious, especially for Park. Now, if you're running this build at the PG and Pro-Am, I don't know so much about that, to be honest. You probably want more of an offensive takeover, especially if you're not even guarding ball. But for this build right here, I think lock take is devious. All right, so anyway, we will make this next little part of it quick. I just want to show you guys the comparison between a 6'3 and a 6'1. So just take a mental photograph of all these ratings that are on your screen right now. We have pretty much the same defensive stuff, same offensive as far as the playmaking, shooting, defense, and then obviously the finishing as well. But as you can see, the one that I am showcasing right now at 6'3 has 68 speed and 73 vertical. So now when we compare that to this build right here, obviously, like, I had the offensive rebound and stuff like that up on the other one too. Just keep that in mind. Same with the block, but that's because you have to reach a certain amount of badge points, and it's not expensive in the first place. But as you can see, that's literally a crazy difference on speed and acceleration already, and it's the same exact ratings. 6'1s are literally just glitched, and they just have extra ratings on them. It's as simple as that. So what I want to throw to you as the fourth build that I'm showcasing in this video is the Elite Defense one that has 92 prim, 99 steal. So all we had to do is just drop the ball handle a little bit from the build that I just showcased before. Obviously, only the difference was 89 to 90, simple as that. Also, the acceleration down to 89 instead of 91, and not much of an extra difference from there, to be honest with you. And as you can see, we have 27 defensive badges. Now, let me just make this clear. If you are someone that doesn't have an extra badge point, and let's say you didn't hit level 39 in any season so far, like if you're sparking this game up for the very first time, what you're going to need to do real quick is put your block rating to 54 as well. That'll get you to 28 defensive badges. Now, there is a thing in the game where when you get through the My Career a little bit, it's very early in it as well. You will get +4 defensive badges if you would like. You can put the +4s anywhere you would like, but the +4 on defense allows you to run all of these tier 3s at the Hall of Fame or Gold level, as you can see, between Glove, Interceptor, Clamps, and Challenger after core badging at least one of them. So if you core badge a Hall of Fame right here, like on Interceptor, you will then be able to run Hall of Fame Glove, Challenger, and Clamps while still having to put 10 badge points between tier 1 and tier 2. So for me, that'd probably be like Pick Dodger on Gold and then Menace on Gold as well, or you could run Workhorse instead. Now, again, the reason I wanted to show that is because if you are someone that maybe, for instance, has a couple of like seasonal 39 rewards and stuff like that, you can then take the block off and then invest into a little bit more acceleration, a little bit more stamina, maybe even some more free throw, stuff like that as well. So just keep that in mind when you're making this build. But nonetheless, what I want to talk about with this is obviously like the playmaking badge count looks a little bit rough. You can still run quick first step, unpluckable, core badge, clamp breaker, and still run handles for days, and then you're able to run bronze bailout. You just can't run in hyperdrive and then any tier 1 badges or anything like that either. So just keep that in mind. I will say it's definitely a long-term type build where you have to core badge a lot of things to be able to run all of the capabilities of it. But again, 24 shooting still has everything that we need as far as the tier 3s. Again, 16 finishing with 80 driving dunk, good enough for quick drops. It's a pretty basic way of like looking at builds and stuff like that, but this is what I truly do believe is pretty nasty. And again, if you want to go with something like Lock Takeover on a build like this as the primary, obviously your Prim D is then at 99. You have ridiculous defensive capabilities with this build, and obviously your acceleration is the only thing that's a little kind of lacking when it comes to being a point guard. So when you run, again, perimeter badge drop or any other lock take as well, you're going to be going crazy on your acceleration, and then you're like really a two-way menace when you have takeover on. So anyway, that's my take on things. The offensive 6'1", the little bit more defensive 6'1", the very defensive 6'1" that we showed at the end, and then the 6'9" kind of do-it-all type build that has the really good badge budgeting with the defense and finishing. We all know how the 6'9s work at this point, and it's really good if you want to be an all-around player. Also, you will probably fit in a lot better when you go into park and you play with randoms or anything like that. Or obviously, if you're looking to like pair up with people as a squad, 6'9s build like this, they just fit into any lineup at all. It literally just is the glue build of the game. So I just want to showcase this to you guys, any newcomers to the game, not to mention just the people who are maybe looking for builds, or if you guys just like watching these videos and see where my mind's at as far as builds. So, hope you all enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, sub if you're new to them, noties, all good stuff, and like always, try to win to 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put guard in the comments, show your support all the way through, or put PG in the comments. But anyway, that's all for the video. Hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for the lockdowns and bigs if you're looking for that as well. And other than that, just other build videos that are on the channel too. We drop them pretty miscellaneously. I need to get on them a little bit more though. I haven't done them quite as much as I did last year, or even the year before that for that matter either. But nonetheless, hope you all enjoyed, and stay tuned for more. Take it easy, man. Peace.